Welcome to the Motordrome Speedway. This evening we present the 5-division racing of the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series. At this time we are set for our opening ceremonies where our invocation will be delivered by track photographer Howie Bayless and a performance of our national anthem by Melissa Grimm. At this time we ask that all of you seated in the grandstand area please rise up from your seats, and gentlemen, remove your caps. If you are moving around the Speedway grounds, we ask that you pause with us momentarily for our opening ceremonies. And here with our invocation, Mr. Howie Bayless.
Please lower your heads. Dear Lord, we're here for a night of entertainment. We know it's a dangerous sport. May everybody be safe. The drivers, the crew, the track officials, the fans. May everybody have a good week, and let's not forget our armed forces who are defending our country. Amen.
And now to sing our national anthem, Melissa Grimm.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Howie Bayless and Melissa Grimm. And now, race fans, are you ready to go NASCAR racing? Drew Kostelnik, younger brother of Adam, starting scratch on the field for this first 8-lap preliminary heat for the Subway Street Stock Division. Green flag is out, a slow start out of turn 4, and Gabala will reach the scorer's line first, door to door with Sean Phillips in 31. Phillips pulls out to a big lead on the back straight. Then it's the 3 of Gabala, the sophomore driver, and the 50 of Tony Manganiello. A brand new race car is the 05 of Adam Kostelnik in 4th position presently. Phillips with the lead, and look at this, a 4-car battle. Contact nearly made there between the 05 of Adam Kostelnik and the 64 of Bill Henry as they duke it out for 4th position. It's Manganiello in 50 and Gabala in 3 side by side, getting ready to begin working lap number 2. In the 4th spot battle, Bill Henry in car 64, making a pass under that brand new race car, seeing its first laps of competition with Adam Kostelnik at the wheel in the 05. Manganiello is 3rd, Henry completing that pass for 4th, Gabala is 2nd, and with more than a half straightaway lead on lap 3 of 8, Sean Phillips in car 31. Phillips leading this event is 5th in the point standings. Gabala, 2nd on the racetrack, is 7th in the points chase, then Manganiello in the 50, who rides 6th in the current standings. Halfway, crossed flags signal 4 laps down, 4 to go as the younger brother Andrew Kostelnik pulls pit side with the 57. It's Sean Phillips in 31 out in front. He was a feature winner here at Motordrome Speedway last season. In 2nd, young Teddy Gabala in the 3. He was a rookie feature winner at Jennerstown Speedway last season. Then the 50 of Tony Manganiello, a regular competitor with us a year ago. The 64 of Bill Henry. He won the biggest event of the season, the Subway 25 for this division last year. Then the brand new 05 of Adam Kostelnik. 2 laps to go for Phillips in the 31, the veteran competitor from Jefferson, Pennsylvania. Last season, Phillips was a championship threat throughout most of 2007. This season, his 2008 racing year got off to a rocky start with a practice crash on opening night. But now the white flag after he finished second by just about a car length and a half to Jonathan Heilmann last Friday night in the 20-lap feature event. Final tour around the Speedway, Gabala is second, Manganiello third, Bill Henry fourth in turns 3 and 4. For the first checkered flag of his 2008 racing season, driving car number 31, ladies and gentlemen, Sean Phillips picks up the win over Teddy Gabala, Tony Manganiello, Bill Henry, and Adam Kostelnik. He's number 2, 8 laps in distance. Aaron Minjock, Joe Nicola in row number 1. I'm told that Bailey will be steering the 38 car in tonight's feature event, as Simbali is operating the 38 for this heat race. We get the green flag, and Joe Nicola in car 69, who left last week on a flatbed with heavy front-end damage in a crash while leading the feature, storms out to a lead over Aaron Minjock in 34, and then last week's most popular driver, the 15 of Jonathan Heilmann, making a pass for second position. The young Bell Vernon driver got his second straight win, and in the process claimed the Subway Challenge, earning every race fan a free 6-inch meatball sub from Subway restaurants. He's up to second behind Nicola. Battle for third is Jason Holder in 74, and Minjock in 34. Minjock, a multiple feature winner last season in the Charger division, stepping up to the Subway street stocks now. And Holder, who's third in the point standings, trying to take over third on the racetrack. In second position, it's Heilmann, who is leading the championship chase for the Subway street stocks as we work lap number 3 of 8. And Holder completes the pass of Minjock. Top 3 drivers on the racetrack in this heat race are the top 3 in the points chase. Joe Nicola out in front with 220 points is 3 points behind Jonathan Heilmann, who trails him on the Speedway now in car 15. All the preliminary heat races here at Motordrome Speedway do award points toward the track championships. So Nicola needing 3 points to take the lead back from Jonathan Heilmann, and those 2 drivers have separated themselves from Jason Holder and the rest of the field, working lap number 5 of 8. Joe Nicola in the lead, and Jonathan Heilmann in 15 in second, breaking away from Jason Holder in 74. And now Minjock loses another spot headed into turn 3 as the white flag is waving. Tom Knight Sr. makes a pass of Aaron Minjock, and it's the 38 machine of Ray Simbali that will be driven in tonight's feature by Chris Bailey Jr., who had that serious super late model crash in practice here last Friday. But in turns 3 and 4, he has won every heat race he has competed in 2008. Another checkered flag for Joe Nicola over Jonathan Heilmann in second. Jason Holder in third. Tom Knight Sr. fourth, and Aaron Minjock hanging on to fifth. Ford, Ohio's Tom Frank, the opening night winner. The 97 is George Nicola from Pittsburgh, starting at the back. And false start, no start that time. We'll try once again as Opolinski got a jump. The caution flag comes back out. Front row must hit the scorer's line even, and we're gonna try one more time to get a clean start from the front row of veteran Jim Nicola. 2 consecutive feature victories for Adam Kostelnik in the 60 car. The other 2 feature winners in the division are both in this heat, the 6 of Tom Frank and 97 of George Nicola. As the green flag waves, Jim Nicola to the inside of Mike Opolinski. Adam Kostelnik with 2 wheels onto the apron of the Speedway in a cloud of dust, taking the runner-up position from Opolinski on the start. Tom Frank in the 6 car falls into 4th position. Frank was leading the championship points coming into last week's racing, and up front there's a lead challenge already, wheel to wheel. Former division champions Jim Nicola and Adam Kostelnik slugging it out for the lead, and Kostelnik pulls out to the advantage now. The Viglione Racing car number 60 of defending champion Adam Kostelnik leading Pittsburgh's Jim Nicola. Tom Frank in car number 6 riding in third. Frank, who competes each week with us from the Cleveland, Ohio suburbs, in car number 6, got that career first victory on opening night. He's challenging veteran Nicola for second position. George Nicola, the nephew of the driver in second, currently in fourth. He has a feature victory this season as well. As Tom Frank in the 6 is surrounded by Nicola family Fords on lap 3 of 8. Wheel to wheel go Frank and George Nicola now. Will Jim Nicola act as a pick, holding up the 6 of Tom Frank for his nephew? Right there is Rick Huffman in car 9, a part of this battle as well, as we have 4 laps down and 4 to go. Nearly 3 wide in turn 1, the battle for second. Wheel to wheel, Nicola maintains the second position over Frank and George Nicola. Tom Frank in car 6 holds the low groove and may have an inroad to the runner-up position. He will take the second spot. At the scorer's line, officially Tom Frank on lap 5 is into second, leaving Jim Nicola and nephew George Nicola to fight for third ahead of Rick Huffman. On lap 5, all by himself out in front, Adam Kostelnik from East McKeesport, the 2-division champion from a year ago. Leading Tom Frank, and now George Nicola makes a pass of his uncle, putting the 97 car into third position. George Nicola, third on the racetrack, is fourth in the championship point standings. With Kostelnik in car 60 way out in front, he and his AK chassis teammates in the Subway Street Stocks testing a brand new machine tonight. Could be a battle for second here on the final lap, and it is down the back straight as George Nicola pries open the inside lane, looking for a way around young Tom Frank. Out of turn 4, a third heat race victory of the season for Adam Kostelnik in the 60 over Tom Frank, George Nicola, Jim Nicola, and Rick Huffman. 40 is Brian Shipp, the younger brother of the front row starter, and the 0 is Chris Brink from Glen Campbell, Pennsylvania. Green flag is out. It's Bobby Shipp in the 04, and it's the 0-1 of Harry Ofer. It was Ofer's identical team car in heat race number 1, which is driven by Pete Reck. So Harry Ofer into the second position now as Chris Brink in the 0 goes from last to third in 1 lap. Leader is Bobby Shipp in the 04. With 1 lap in the books, former Charger Division champion Bobby Shipp from Elizabeth, Pennsylvania, out in front of Bell Vernon's Harry Ofer in 0-1. Both of those drivers were victorious in 2007 in feature competition. The 0 of Chris Brink from Glen Campbell, Pennsylvania, a sophomore modified driver with years of experience in limited late model action at the Jennerstown Speedway. Brink closes into the rear of the 0-1 of Harry Ofer. Never shy about making an outside pass is Chris Brink. He is third right now as Bobby Shipp out in front completes lap number 3 of 8. Top 3 cars breaking away from the rest of the field with Brian Shipp in 4th and Lonnie Hoffman in the Aero Automotive Machine in 5th. Midpoint of the second open wheel modified heat race, and Chris Brink, who was briefly able to challenge the 01 of Harry Ofer, now 3 or 4 car lengths behind the back bumper of the 01 in third position. Ofer in second, and Bobby Shipp up front, the 04. Shipp has led numerous laps of feature competition in 2008. But to this point, he has yet to win a heat or a feature event, as last season he won several heat events and collected a career first feature win in the 04 car. 2 laps to go, the signal given to Bobby Shipp in car 04. White flag will signal final lap as the leaders approach the scoring line. Bobby Ship, Harry Ofer, and Chris Brink, the top three. This heat race action helping to establish the starting grid for tonight's 20-lap feature event for the modifieds. And for his first checkered flag of 2008, Elizabeth, Pennsylvania resident Bobby Ship will win it over Harry Ofer, Chris Brink, Brian Ship, and Lonnie Hoffman in car 58 finishing 5th. Making only about his 4th start of the season is Michael Zombar as the green flag waves 10 laps for the NASCAR Pizza Hut Super Late Models. Mark Catone in car 31 out in front. Look at Neil Brown in the 98 car, stealing the position from Steve Black in the 1 up to 2nd. Wiltrout in 95 running 4th, just inches away from the Steve Black Toyota. Catone will lead lap 1, but look at the fight for 3rd position. Urso in 37, Steve Black in 1, and it's Wiltrout in 95, separating himself from that battle in 3rd spot. Now it's Urso and Black going wheel to wheel out of turn 4 with Dan Lewis in the 8 car looking on. Working lap 2 of 10, Dan Lewis gets off the pavement in turns 1 and 2 and surrenders the 4th spot to Steve Black by himself now. Top 5 on the speedway, spread out just a bit as leader Mark Catone in the 31, trying to hold off Neil Brown, 2 veteran competitors leading this late model heat race on lap 3 of 10. Mark Catone, the 1995 and 2001 Super Late Model champion of Motordrome Speedway. Leading Neil Brown in car 98. Brown making only his 4th start with Richter Motorsports. They have won 2 of their 3 opening events, and he finished 2nd last week. Five laps down, 5 laps remaining, and the lead battle intensifies. Brown from Acme, Pennsylvania in car 98, looking to the inside of McKeesport's Mark Catone. They are door to door at the scoring line. On lap 6, Catone remains officially the leader by inches, but in turn number 1, Brown has the inside lane and completes the pass for the lead down the back straight. Catone in car 31, 5th in the point standings, now 2nd on the racetrack, as Brown officially becomes the new leader as we begin working lap number 7. Catone in 2nd, then in 3rd, it's Gary Wiltrout, who last week with 2 laps to go was leading the 40-lap feature when he tangled with Richard Mitchell, handing the lead and the win to his teammate. As there are 2 laps to go, the Hunter's Peterbilt Davies Ford 98 of Neil Brown leading Mark Catone in 31, Gary Wiltrout in 95, and Paul Urso in 37. White flag signals final lap. Last week, Paul Urso in the 37, after leading 10 laps of the feature event here at Motordrome, made a rare start at the Lake Erie Speedway and notched a top 10 finish. But taking another checkered flag in 2008, Neil Brown gets the win over Mark Catone, Gary Wiltrout, Paul Urso, and a top 5 finish for Steve Black in the 1. Price, Bo Glemba, Richard Mitchell lead him to the green flag. 10 more laps for the NASCAR Pizza Hut Super Late Models. Glemba in car 78, the modified division graduate, now driving for Chad Hemphill Motorsports, has Richard Mitchell, the 3-time champion, to his outside. Mitchell has yet to take a checkered flag this season. Glemba won last Friday's heat race. Door to door at the scoring line on lap 1 with points leader Tommy Beck haunting the back bumpers. A trio of Chevrolets in front of Todd Price's Ford number 15. Glemba in 78, Mitchell 22, and Beck in 60. Glemba continues to lead. Mitchell, who is now door to door with Beck, was riding 2nd, and we're 3 wide on the back straight. Tom Beck backs off the hammer wisely, allowing only 2 cars to enter turn 3. Glemba still holds on to the lead. We're still 3 wide. Down the front straight. Glemba in the middle. Beck gets loose, drifts up, and everybody avoids contact on lap 3 of 10. A tremendous job done by all 3 drivers as Glemba wisely backed off to avoid contact. Beck gathered it up. The new leader is Richard Mitchell. On lap 4 of 10, 3-time champion Richard Mitchell takes the point position. He was running second with 2 laps to go in the feature event last Friday when he tangled with Gary Wiltrout, seeking his first checkered flag in heat or feature competition. Mitchell sees the crossed flags indicating halfway. Tommy Beck, the points leader in car number 60, was the most dominant feature winner of 2007. Beck has heat race victories so far this season and 3 second-place feature finishes. As he pulls up to challenge for the lead, Bo Glemba now in third all by himself. On lap 6 of 10, Beck has the inside lane secured out of turn number 2. Beck, the former Jennerstown Speedway late model champion, to the inside of Mitchell, door to door in turn 4. At the scoring line, call it a dead heat as we begin working lap number 7. Beck to the inside, Mitchell to the outside. Beck, a former modified division dominator here at Motordrome with so many feature victories to his credit, and Mitchell, the former NASCAR Busch Series and ARCA Super Speedway competitor. In a memorable fight in this heat race on lap 8, Beck is the leader, with Mitchell still in striking distance, Glemba now a distant third. A pair of Chevrolets at the front of the field, the stands transmissions, Benz Motorsports entry of Tommy Beck taking the white flag. 4 more corners for the Howard Concrete Pumping. Tom Clark Martinelli's Chevrolet number 22 of Mitchell to make a pass. Down the back straight. The points leader with 3 heat races about to make it number 4 in car number 60. Tommy Beck takes the checkered flag over Richard Mitchell, Bo Glemba, Todd Price, and rookie Cody Quarrick. Up front, Barry Audi in 75 and young Glenn Galt Jr., both former track champions at other facilities, taking the green flag for this final 10-lap Pizza Hut Super Late Model heat race. Galt and Audi up front, taking their first laps at Motordrome in 2008 in this, our 4th event. Galt Jr., whose father was a former champion of this speedway, with the lead on lap number 1 over Barry Audi and Bobby Henry, last week's winner. Henry quickly dives to the inside as veteran champions are door to door. Bobby Henry, the 2007 Motordrome Speedway champion, and Barry Audi, who has been a Clearfield and Jennerstown Speedway champion, falling back to third by half a car length on lap 2, with David Riggin in car 24 making his first Motordrome start, right there to challenge. Riggin, another regular competitor at the Lake Erie Speedway on Saturday nights, has the inside lane on Barry Audi. Audi still maintains third position by inches at the scoring line on lap 3 of 10, as Gregory Kelly has retired from competition with that car that was so badly damaged a week ago. It's Glenn Galt Jr. out in front from Hubbard, Ohio. Bobby Henry in car 11 inherited the lead last Friday night with 2 laps to go after his teammate Gary Wiltrout tangled with Richard Mitchell. And the defending champion now haunting the back bumper of Glenn Galt Jr. Galt has been victorious in 2 separate touring series. Galt has won with the Mid-Atlantic Asphalt Racing Alliance, and he has been in victory lane with the ASA Late Model Series. He is holding off Bobby Henry, who has 114 career feature victories, including some on the dirt here at Motordrome Speedway back to the late 1980s, and they are nearly bumper to bumper down the back straight as David Riggin in car 24 looks on from third. Galt Jr. and Henry, who battled like this for many, many laps in last year's running of the Penn West Toyota Lift 100, which comes up on Friday, June the 20th. Here comes Henry on lap 7 with a challenge to the inside. Door to door, they enter turn number 3. And last week's feature winner taking the top spot from Glenn Galt Jr. with 2 laps remaining. David Riggin in car 24, who has only started about 4 events here at Motordrome Speedway, looks to close in on Galt Jr. White flag waving for Bobby Henry over Glenn Galt Jr., David Riggin, Barry Oddie, and Mark Poole. Bobby Henry in the Stone & Company Megan Ford from the Palagrudo Motorsports stable. Heading to turn number 4. And collecting another checkered flag in this heat race, Galt Jr. hangs on to second over David Riggin and Barry Oddie, with Mark Poole snagging a top 5 finish. Mike Lemley in the 4, Ed Neidhart in 68, points leader Jimmy Stokes in 95, Bob Garchak in 44, Roger Bryan in the 12, Bill Oldham in the 5, AJ Poljak in car 2, Bruce Hamilton in 29, and Matt Gardner in the 7. Green flag is out. 6 laps of competition for the Chargers. Tracy Kelly with an early lead over his cousin Denny Keller. Side by side, it's Mike Lemley in the 4, and the driver that opened a lot of eyes last week, Ed Neidhart, who had a stellar performance in car 68. Jimmy Stokes has 3 feature victories in car 95 in 4 weeks of action. Stokes is also undefeated in heat race competition. He is 4th on the speedway with Mike Lemley and Denny Keller just in front, while Tracy Keller opens up a huge lead as the 2006 Charger champion. Look at the action 3 wide at the back of the field as the second place battle heats up on the back straight. Lemley in the 4. Very close friend to the Keller family of race teams, as he will now separate them in second position. And look at Stokes charging through. The points leader, undefeated in heat race action. At the midway point of this event, up to 3rd. Tracy Keller still with a big lead. He has been victorious in each of the last several seasons in feature competition, but still looking for his first checkered flag of 08 with a car length of a lead, I should say, of about 8 car lengths now for Tracy Keller over the Stokes and Lemley battle. It will be Jimmy Stokes in car 95 for the MAG Racing Team, moving into second on lap number 4. Then Lemley, Denny Keller, and AJ Poljak in car number 2. The dirt track feature winner, a pavement rookie, up into the top 5 now as he has moved around Neidhart. White flag waving. Will Jimmy Stokes be defeated for the first time in heat race action this season? The West Side Lube and Tire entry pulling up very close to the rear bumper of Tracy Keller. Here's the fight for the lead. Stokes wants to be undefeated in heat race action. Keller trying to pull off his first checkered flag of the season. They're door to door in turn 3. In turn 4, sideways, Stokes with the preferred line takes another checkered flag over Keller, Lemley, Keller, and AJ Poljak. Paul Rosa, then the 13 of Victor Keller. The 20 of Ed Sheltman, a racing rookie. The 61 is Ron Eifert III. 44 is young Mary Catherine Shimko. The 31 is Bill Schwartz, 16 Ed Deneen. And look up front at the heated battle. Last week's winner Rosa in the 6 and Larry Vance in 28. Chevrolet Cavalier versus Ford Tempo at the front of the field. Then Ron Eifert III in 3rd position. Side by side, Victor Keller and the 20 of Ed Sheltman on lap number 1. Ed Deneen in 16 is the all-time leading winner in the division. And we're going to be 3 wide in that battle for 4th on the back straight briefly. The American Flyers are the entry level of racing competition here at Motordrome. Front-wheel drive, 4-cylinder street passenger cars. Modified only for driver safety and competing on street tires. It's an affordable and easy way to get your feet wet in NASCAR oval track competition. Five laps, the heat race distance for the American Flyers, and Paul Rosa in car 6 last week made a sweep. We got trouble in turn 3. Keller spins. Schwartz spins to avoid him in the 3, and we got a caution flag. green flag is back out, and Rosa gets a tremendous start as 3 cars are fighting for second, now many car lengths behind him. It's Larry Vance in 28, Ron Eifert the third, and splitting the middle, it's Ed Deneen in car 16. How much fun can these drivers have on 4 measly cylinders? You're looking at it. Great racing action from the entry-level American Flyers. Rosa the leader, Deneen in second, Larry Vance third, Ron Eifert in fourth, and from starting deep in the field, Jeff Halfhill in the 7 is up to 5th. Final time around the speedway. Black flag is displayed for the Keller 13 machine, leaking some gasoline onto the speedway. Slow-moving car in turn 4 just in front of the leaders as they are headed to complete this race, and we're going to need a caution flag. Trying to keep everybody safe as the 87 machine not under power. That machine is coasting down the front straight, and to avoid any serious incidents, we are going to wave the caution flag. Green flag back out. Paul Rosa leading Ed Deneen, and this one might be a fight to the finish. Last week's feature winner and the 3-time winner, Ed Deneen in car 16. With 1 lap to go, the Cavaliers are bumper to bumper. Jeff Halfhill in the 7 advancing in the top 5 as well on this final lap. Now Rosa washing out just a little in turn 4. Here comes Deneen using every inch of racetrack. Checkered flag in the air. Paul Rosa will win it over Ed Deneen, Larry Vance, Jeff Halfhill, and Ron Eifert. Senior 34, Aaron Minjock. 68, Jamie Shipley. 38 is Chris Bailey Jr. as the green flag waves for 20 laps of Subway Street Stock competition. Up front, the AK chassis teammates and a brand new ride for Andrew Kostelnik in 05. Then the 50 of Tony Manganiello from Clairton and the 64 of Bill Henry, the Subway Challenge driver, separating the teammates in second spot. One lap completed, and the Subway Challenge driver of the night, Bill Henry, challenges for the lead. The 05 of Andrew Kostelnik, younger brother of the defending champion, in a brand new race car, losing the lead to Henry, the veteran, in car 64. It's a half car length advantage for Bill Henry, the Vandergrift, Pennsylvania resident who won the biggest event of the season last year, out to an early lead, seeking his first feature win of 2008. Here comes the 69 of Joe Nicola, who crashed hard while leading last Friday in the feature. He takes the spot away from Andrew Kostelnik. Up front on lap 3, Henry leading Nicola. Then Kostelnik, and look at Jonathan Heilmann, the points leader on the strength of 2 consecutive victories. The first 2 of his career. He is threatening and now taking away 3rd position from Andrew Kostelnik. Working lap number 4 of 20 for the Subway Street Stocks, and Henry in car 64 is using the outside lane and making that car stick. It's Chevrolet versus Ford up front. Nicola's Thunderbird to the inside of Henry's Monte Carlo. Light contact made in turn 3. At the scoring line, it's an inch's lead for Bill Henry on lap 5, and they're going to be making more contact in turn 2. Jonathan Heilmann watches the lead fight from 3rd position. And Henry, the Subway Challenge driver, holding strong on the outside of Joe Nicola. Nicola, who has not lost a heat race this season, takes over the lead, looking for his 2nd feature win of the year. On lap 6, Nicola spins in front of the field, gathers it back in. Jonathan Heilmann's out in front. 3 wide, they pass by Bill Henry, who had to back off the throttle. As Nicola gathers it up, 4 cars race by. Tony Manganiello is now in 2nd spot with the AK chassis machine. Working Working lap number 7, Jonathan Heilmann, who inherited a lead last week with a Joe Nicola crash, now takes over the top spot as Nicola nearly spins. And he holds up the Subway Challenge driver of the night, Bill Henry, as they are just about out of the top 5 now after running 1 and 2. All by himself in second position from Clairton, Pennsylvania, it's Tony Manganiello, looking to score a career best finish if he can hang on to that spot here at Motordrome. Manganiello competed at the Jennerstown Speedway on Saturday nights for a couple of seasons before becoming a Motordrome regular in 2007. In third spot, opening night winner Jason Holder in 74 has a rear view mirror full of the 31 of Sean Phillips. Phillips won his heat race earlier tonight, and the Jefferson, Pennsylvania veteran looking to strike on Jason Holder. Meanwhile, Joe Nicola has recovered from the near spin in car 69. He is right behind Phillips. Crossed flags signal halfway to young Jonathan Heilmann, whose career season may be getting even better tonight as he comes in as the points leader over a field of cagey veterans. Manganiello still second, Holder still third, but the battle for third position is 3 cars strong with Sean Phillips and Joe Nicola. Light contact in turn 2 as Sean Phillips opens up the inside lane. Jason Holder in 74 is to the outside. Third position changing hands as Phillips moves into a podium position, and Nicola right there with him follows him through. 69 of Nicola back up into 4th by inches as Jason Holder loses 2 positions on lap 11. And working lap 12, Bill Henry in 64, who is a victim of the Nicola near spin, is also challenging. Holder may be dropping out of the top 5 as 3 cars rush by him in a lap and a half. Working lap number 13 of 20. And Jonathan Heilmann is all by himself out front, headed into turn number 3. The Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania driver in car 15 got his first career victory 3 weeks ago. Followed it up with a second win and the first 3 checkered flags of his entire career could be consecutive, with Tony Manganiello in second position, driving this season for the AK chassis team with Costa Construction backing in car number 50. Manganiello looking to be perhaps his best night of racing ever at Motordrome Speedway. With 5 laps remaining, Heilmann and Manganiello separated from the rest of the field. Sean Phillips in third over Joe Nicola and Bill Henry. Possible challenge for third position in turn number 1 on lap 16. Sean Phillips in 31 has a rear view mirror full of Joe Nicola. Nicola in car 69, who got that car loose while leading, battled back into the top 5 and now looking to grab a podium position from Phillips as the laps wind down with 3 to go. Two laps to go, the signal given to Jonathan Heilmann in front of Tony Manganiello. And now it's a 3-car fight for third position. Sean Phillips, Joe Nicola, and Bill Henry has caught right back up to that battle. White flag waving for Jonathan Heilmann. How about this 2008? On opening night, Heilmann's number 15 car was noticeably faster, and the confidence that this young driver has gained from his first career win just a few weeks ago has resulted in a string of 3 consecutive victories for Jonathan Heilmann in car 15. Tony Manganiello with a Motordrome Speedway best of second over Sean Phillips, Joe Nicola, and Bill Henry. Jonathan, could your season have turned around any more from 2007 to 2008 3 races ago, you were almost speechless here in Victory Lane. Now this is getting to be a habit. You know how the interview process works. You know how to park the car. You learned everything about Victory Lane in 3 weeks.
I like it. I enjoy it. I hope I'm back here more often. I owe it to the crew. If it wasn't for them, I was fighting the car all night long. It was back and forth, back and forth. I want to thank my dad, Brian, Kim, Val, Ryan, everybody comes help me, all my fans, everybody in the stands. If it wasn't for Jens coming out and supporting the track, this car's great. I learned how to drive it finally too, so that helps.
It always helps. And now let me ask you, 2 weeks in a row, the same situation. Joe Nicola's out in front. Last week, he crashes into a lap car. This week, he gets loose. Do you think you had anything for him tonight if he hadn't have nearly spun in turn 2?
I don't know. Every week he got a fast car. He's my good friend down there. Sorry to see him struggle like that, but he'll get it back around, I hope.
Jonathan, how old are you? You're one of the youngest guys in this division, and now 3 weeks in a row you've had a lock on Victory Lane.
21.
21 years old, so maybe tonight after that win you're legal to go and have a brew.
Yeah, I'll be 22 in July, so.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, seeking sponsorship for his race car. 3rd win in a row for Jonathan Heilmann. His car off the speedway, 20 laps of open-wheeled thunder. And here come the modifieds. Green flag is out. Into turn 1. The 0 of Chris Brink is surrounded by the Ship brothers. Brian Ship on the outside and Bobby Ship on the inside. As Brink will lead lap number 1. Still nearly 3 wide. The 97 of George Nicola enters the battle. Nicola to the inside of the 40 of Brian Ship. And the younger of the Ship Racing brothers falling back into 4th with Tom Frank in car 6, the opening night winner looking to challenge now. Up front, the 0 of Chris Brink, the former Matt Smith race car. For the driver who's a graduate of limited late model action at the Jennerstown Speedway from Glen Campbell, Pennsylvania up front. And Bobby Ship in the 0-4 in second, but close and challenging. So is the 97 of George Nicola on lap 3 of 20. Brink in car 0 is yet to take a checkered flag as a modified driver. Last season, his first full-time season in open-wheel competition. And Bobby Ship, who got his first career win last season, is only trailing by a bumper on lap 4 as they reach the scoring line. Brink is officially the leader by inches. Bobby Ship, whose younger brother has fallen now outside the top 5. Chris Brink to the high side. He sets the 0 car up to run the outside lane, but he may not have enough to hold off the challenges of Bobby Ship, who becomes the new leader on lap 5. Bobby Ship in first, and quickly George Nicola follows him around the 0 of Chris Brink. Wheel to wheel now up front. It's Nicola on the outside. Bobby Ship on the inside. Look at Tom Frank joining Chris Brink for a 4-car battle at the front of the field. Working lap 6, and the defending champion Adam Kostelnik in car 60 is into the mix. New leader is George Nicola, opening up a 3 or 4 car length advantage over Ship. Into 3rd position now from the Cleveland, Ohio suburbs, it's young Tom Frank, then Kostelnik, the 4-time champ. Kostelnik, a very loose handling race car on lap 7 as we see the battle for 5th. Wheel to wheel, it's the front row starters of Brian Ship and Chris Brink. Now a challenge for 3rd position. The similarly painted orange race cars make contact as Kostelnik gets into Tom Frank, and the top 2 drivers in the points are crashing on the front straight, collecting the 40 of Brian Ship, the 0 of Chris Brink, the 58 of Lonnie Hoffman, the 66 of Miko Bolinski, and the 5 of Jim Nicola. Green flag is back out. Nicola's on the hammer. Leader George Nicola last season was 2nd in the championship point standings to Adam Kostelnik, a multiple feature winner last season with 1 checkered flag already in 2008, leading Bobby Ship, whose first career win came a year ago. Then Huffman in the 9, doing a great job of holding off last season's multiple feature winner Harry Ofer in the 01. Back in 6th spot, the 6 car of Tom Frank battling back from the spin, taking a position away from Mike Opolinsky. Headed for the scoring line, the leaders will see the crossed flags signaling halfway. It's George Nicola leading Bobby Shipp, Rick Huffman, Harry Ofer. And the 81 of Pete Reck is now feeling the pressure of Tom Frank. Tom Frank, who was 4th in the championship standings a year ago and got that first career win on opening night 2008, looking to move back into the top 5 and challenging dirt track limited late model ace Pete Reck for 5th. Reck in car 81, a rookie to pavement racing in the modified division, has young Tom Frank, the many-time Ohio go-kart champion, diving to the inside in turn 3. On lap 12, on the front straightaway, Pete Reck had the 81 car sideways just a little, and now Tom Frank looking to capitalize on what may be overheated tires on the 81. Frank to the inside again, this time in turn 3. Pulling door to door with Pete Reck, and Tom Frank is back into the top 5 in car 6. Up front, the top 4 cars separated by about 4 or 5 car lengths each. George Nicola in 97. Bobby Shipp in 04, Rick Huffman in the 9, and Harry Ofer in the 01. On the back straight, the 60 of Adam Kostelnik now getting ready to challenge Pete Reck for the 6th position. Kostelnik, the points leader after those 2 straight victories. And on the inside of turn 1 with 5 laps to go, Kostelnik nearly able to pull off the pass with one wheel touching the apron. And down the back straightaway, Kostelnik with preferred lane into turn 3. Pete Reck holds strong on the outside as Kostelnik takes the spot away. Lap traffic, it's the Bill Rebar 18 in front of the leader, George Nicola. As Nicola begins to work lap 17, it seems that Bobby Shipp in the 04 is losing ground to the leader, but it seems that Rick Huffman in car 9 might be gaining on Shipp. Huffman looking to pull off a career best finish of 2nd tonight if he can gain about 4 more car lengths on Bobby Shipp. There are 2 laps to go. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's George Nicola, the former Subway Street Stock Division champion, takes the white flag in car 97. From a racing family that includes Subway Street Stock drivers, modified drivers, and former champions from several divisions here at Motordrome. Looking to become the 2nd repeat winner of 2008 in the modified division, George Nicola will take the checkered flag. Coming home 2nd, it's Bobby Shipp. Rick Huffman is 3rd. Harry Ofer is 4th, and Tom Frank battles back to 5th. And the crew yells, "He is the man." George, let's talk about that race. First half of the race, crazy, chaos, insane. Second half of the race, you could have been on cruise control.
You know, there's never no cruise control. There's no safe place to hide on a racetrack. My cousin proved that last week, leading the race with 2 to go, and boom. But the car was hooked up tonight, and I'm glad everybody made it through, and I'm glad there was no cautions at the end because, man, I was glad to see it go the rest of the way green.
Now let's talk, you mentioned your cousin's accident last week in the Subway Street Stocks, and you've torn this car up last season a couple of times, not of your own fault. With the big racing family that you have, when one car is damaged, do all the crews pitch in to get that one car back here for a next Friday night?
Hey, you know us, we're nuts, you know. We got to go back to the racetrack every week, you know us.
How about a chance to thank the sponsors and crew that made this ride so fast tonight?
First off, I got to thank my mother because I always forget to thank her. She always helps load up the car every night. And I got to really put a special thanks to her and everybody up in turn 4. And I got to thank my dad, my cousin Joe, John Lawton. My buddy Al came tonight and Denny came tonight. This is a good night. Thank the fans for coming out. And I got to thank Cox Transmission, Edlin Automotive, Dare Transportation, Stellar Generator. And that's about it.
He knows how to thank the sponsors. Another feature victory for George Nicola. 37 of Urso, 96 of Mark Poole taking the green flag, and we're underway. 40 laps for the NASCAR Pizza Hut Super Late Models. Down the back straight, 37 of Urso looking for his first career win. Mark Poole, who has won here and at Jennerstown in car 96, and the 78 of Bo Glemba seeking his first win, are the top 3 drivers ahead of former champion Mark Catone, who gets off of the racing surface in turns 1 and 2. Glenn Galt Jr. pulls to his outside. Galt in car 32 on the high side of Mark Catone, while Mark Poole in 96 holds on to the second position using the outside lane. The 78 of Bo Glemba to his inside. Paul Urso leading the first 2 laps now. Last Friday, he led for the first quarter of this event. And he's got Mark Poole in second, Bo Glemba third, and now Galt taking away 4th spot from Catone on lap 3. Heated action in the middle of the pack with the Palagrudo teammates of Henry and Wiltrout, with Tommy Beck, the points leader, right there, and Neil Brown, the only repeat winner in car 98, as we work lap 4. Drivers changing positions in the middle of the pack while Urso opens up a bigger lead over Mark Poole. Neil Brown in 98 in about the 10th position now, diving under Gary Wiltrout. Aggressive move in 3 and 4. He takes that spot away. Working lap number 5. And the battle for 6th is a heated one. David Riggin in car 24, a rare Motordrome starter, alongside of Barry Audi, the Jennerstown former champion in 75. Veteran Audi and newcomer to super late model racing, Riggin are side by side in front of last week's winner Henry, and now Tommy Beck in the 60. Riggin takes the position away from Audi, and just in front of them a battle for 3rd develops. Mark Catone, who fought off the challenges of Glenn Galt Jr. for 4th, is now advancing on lap 7. He is to the inside of Bo Glemba in 78. Glemba, the successful modified feature winner, now in the transition to super late model racing for Chad Hemphill Racing. Glemba won a heat race last Friday, and Mark Catone by inches takes the 3rd position away from him on lap 8 at the scoring line. They are still door to door headed down the back straight. Leader Paul Urso is more than half a straightaway ahead of this terrific battle for 3rd. Glenn Galt Jr. watches from 4th. Mark Poole is in 2nd, but all eyes are on 3rd position. The 2-time former champion Mark Catone and the super late model newcomer Bo Glemba are wheel to wheel now for 2 full laps around the Motordrome Oval. Tremendous racing from 3rd and back through the field. And Catone this time has cleared Glemba by a full car length on lap 10. Meanwhile, up front, Paul Urso, who led the first 10 laps last Friday night, is losing ground to Mark Poole. Poole is reeling in the leader, the Howard Concrete Pumping 96 of veteran Mark Poole. With several feature victories in his career, on lap 11 is gaining on the Sullivan Chevrolet number 37 of Paul Urso. Urso, an excellent racer in the now defunct truck division. He was the rookie of the year in the super late models just a few seasons ago, and is out in front as he was last Friday. We got big problems in turn 4. Glenn Galt Jr. goes around and collects the 98 of Neil Brown and the 11 of Bobby Henry. The most recent 3 features have been won by Neil Brown and Bobby Henry, and now they are involved in an incident in turn 4 with Glenn Galt Jr., the son of a former Motordrome Speedway champion. Paul Urso, Mark Poole, Mark Catone, Bo Glemba, and David Riggin, the top 5, as the green flag waves again on lap 12 of 40. Challenge for 5th position. The 60 of Tommy Beck, the points leader, closing in on David Riggin. Riggin, who spent the month of February competing at the New Smyrna Speedway during Florida Speed Weeks, is a Lake Erie Speedway regular in only about his 5th Motordrome start. And he's got the current points leader, last year's dominant feature winner, Tommy Beck, nipping at his heels for 5th place. Meanwhile, the 78 of Bo Glemba, who was fighting tooth and nail with Mark Catone for so many laps, here now on lap 14 is in jeopardy of losing maybe 2 positions, as Catone is all by himself in 3rd now. But Catone with some body damage showing, as the right side door of the 31 is creating significant aerodynamic drag. They're going 3 wide behind him on lap 15. Glemba, the meat of a sandwich between Beck and Riggin, into turn 3. We'll go single file briefly, but Beck is ready to challenge as Riggin takes the 4th position away. Glemba trying to make that car wide. He boxes in Tommy Beck and allows Bobby Henry to move up in this battle. The battle is for 5th position, and it is 3 or 4 cars strong as Tommy Beck goes door to door with Bo Glemba. Then Bobby Henry, who was involved in the Glenn Galt spin but did not stop moving, and his teammate Gary Wiltrout in 95 are right there with him on lap 17. Beck all by himself in 5th. Now Henry taking over 6th, and Wiltrout in car 95, the opening night winner, looking to move into 7th around Bo Glemba. On lap 18, looking at the battle for 5th, the 60 of Tommy Beck, down the back straight, closing into the 24 of David Riggin. Both of those drivers now gaining on Catone, as Catone looked very strong before the body panels peeled away, and a spin in turn 4. Bo Glemba in car 78 brings out the caution. With Glemba pit side, the green flag comes back out. 22 laps remaining. And very quickly, Tommy Beck opens the inside lane under David Riggin. He makes the pass for 4th, brings along Bobby Henry in the 11, who brings along his teammate Gary Wiltrout, who keeps the door open for Richard Mitchell in 22. Challenge for 3rd on lap 19, Tommy Beck in the Benz Motorsports, Stans Transmissions number 60, moving to the inside of Mark Catone. Beck, the former Jennerstown champion, Catone, the former Motordrome champion, side by side, and Beck takes over 3rd. So far this season, Tommy Beck has not finished worse than 3rd, although he still seeks his first feature victory. And on lap 21, he is up to 3rd spot. Meanwhile, back in the 6th position. The 2 drivers who tangled while leading last week are side by side. Richard Mitchell from Brewston Mills, West Virginia, the Martinelli's Auto, Tom Clark Chevrolet, to the inside of the Stone and Company Megan Ford of Gary Wiltrout. And Mitchell is surrounded by the Palagrudo teammates, both of whom have reeled in Mark Catone in 31. This could quickly be the battle for 4th, and it is 4 cars strong. Catone, Henry, Mitchell, and Wiltrout, all 4 drivers, former champions of Motordrome Speedway. All 4 drivers under a blanket on lap 23. And Henry is the first driver to break through to the outside of Mark Catone's 31. Mitchell and Wiltrout again racing very close, as they did last week with 2 laps to go before their caution flag incident. We're 3 wide on the front straight. Mitchell was looking to go to the inside of Catone and thought better of it. Now Wiltrout joins his teammate Henry around the outside of Catone. Up front, a heated battle for 2nd. Tommy Beck, who just needed the infield to avoid contact with Mark Poole, is door-to-door in turn 1 on lap 25. And the points leader, Tommy Beck, by half a car length, now a full car length on the back straight, takes over the runner-up position. Mark Poole back to 3rd and race-long leader. The 37 car of Paul Urso on lap 26 has last season's most dominant winner right in his tracks, and Urso's quest for a career-first victory will have to come by fending off last year's top dog, Tommy Beck, in car 60. The the Sullivan Chevrolet, number 37 of Urso, holding the inside lane on lap 27. After a pair of top 10 finishes last week, Urso may be losing the lead as Tommy Beck is to the outside. The former Jennerstown Speedway champion Beck secures the point position on lap 28, making the pass of Urso, with Mark Poole in third, Bobby Henry in fourth, Richard Mitchell fifth, and Gary Wiltrout sixth. Next time around, the signal of 10 laps to go will be given, and the Benz Motorsports entry of Tommy Beck is out in front. As points leader all season long, he has not finished worse than third, but has not yet taken a checkered flag. Last season, he won the Pizza Hut 100 as one of his multiple victories atop the win list in 2007. Urso all by himself in second, Poole all by himself in third, and Bobby Henry has worked his way from deep in the field inside the top five, as has Richard Mitchell in 22. On lap 32 of 40, in turn number 2, Tommy Beck can see lapped cars in front of him. The 78 of Klemba, who raced at the front early on before the spin, and the 64 of rookie Michael Zombar looming in front of the leader. Beck's lead is more than half a straightaway with 7 to go, and the lap cars are too wide in front of him. Patiently waiting for the lane to open up does Beck, and carries the Benz Motorsports 60 around Zombar, and now clears the Bo Glemba 78. Urso now having to deal with the same lap cars, and we've got a challenge for fourth as the 11 of Bobby Henry on lap 34 sees the 22 of Richard Mitchell to his inside. The 2007 champion Bobby Henry and the 3-time champ Richard Mitchell, 1999, 2000, and 2006 champion. Mitchell takes the spot away on lap 35. It's now Beck, your leader. Urso in second with Mark Poole ready to challenge from third. And Poole's Howard Concrete Pumping teammate of Richard Mitchell up to fourth with Henry in fifth. Only 4 laps to go. And on lap 34, Mark Poole in the 96 in third position was right on the back bumper waiting to strike, as Paul Urso in 37 looking to make a career best finish of second with 3 laps remaining. Laps to go, the signal given to Tommy Beck as he puts the 6 of rookie Cody Quarrick a lap down. Quarrick not surrendering easily, but Beck's progress would need to be halted by half a lap to allow Paul Urso and Mark Poole enough time to challenge. Out of turn 4, the white flag is waving for Beck, but a possible position change here on the final lap in third as the Howard Concrete teams of Richard Mitchell in 22 and Mark Poole in 96 are very close on the back straight. Out of turn 4 for the first time in 2008, Tommy Beck will take the checkered flag as points leader. Paul Urso with a career best finish of second, and at the last minute, Richard Mitchell takes third from his teammate Mark Poole, with Bobby Henry finishing fifth. Well, Tommy Beck, you were the dominant feature winner here at Motordrome throughout the 2007 season, but some mechanical plagues kept you from being a championship threat. Now this season, exactly the opposite. You've been leading the points all season, and now it's hard to believe almost that it's taken 4 weeks to find victory lane because this car's been so strong.
It's been a matter of starting back there in the back's tough to stay and take your time, get to the front. And tonight we had a really, really good car. I mean, the whole Benz family really prepared a really good car for us tonight. It's probably the best it's been since last year. It's been good every night, but it was real good tonight.
I know victories are always what you're seeking, but when you've had a season where you haven't finished worse than third, you've got to be thinking championship already at this point in the season.
I try not to get in my mind because I know things can happen awfully quick. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and see where we end up at the end of the year and keep having fun every week and trying to win races.
Well, a couple of those second place finishes, you were being very aggressive at the end of the race to get up into the top three. Now tonight, tell us about your run to the front. Was that more aggressive than you wanted to be at the front? Did you take a couple of chances and say, man, maybe I shouldn't have done that? Or was this the kind of race that in your mind you're going, yeah, I knew we had it?
I think we were pretty good. I was getting nervous. I'll tell you, everybody, we started off where we got real quick there at the beginning of this year and the end of last year, and now it seems like everybody's kind of catched up, so it's kind of, you got to get by them as quick as you can or you're not going to get by them, and there's a good field of cars here, there really is.
And now a chance to thank the sponsors after you've mentioned the Benz Motorsports crew that do all the work on this machine. How about those that pay the bills?
Yeah, I got Stance Transmissions first and foremost, and pretty much everybody else on the car, Cintas, can't even remember everybody just because I'm staring at the big stands right now. But no, I got to thank the whole pit crew, everybody that helps, my wife. I'd like to dedicate this to my son who's in the hospital right now. I don't know, it's been tough, but this one's for him. Thanks, guys.
He's a new dad. Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Beck. 12 is Roger Bryan. 5 is Bill Oldham, a winner earlier this season. 44 is Bob Garchak Jr., 29 Bruce Hamilton, and 95 is points leader Jimmy Stokes. 15 laps for the Charger division. We're 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Early leader Matt Gardner in the 7. He has had mechanical problems plaguing his 2008 as he was a feature winner in 07. Then Ed Neidhart in 68, who led his first feature laps last week. And the Keller family breathing right down his neck. The 13 of Denny Keller, the 1 of Tracy Keller, and then the 2 of A.J. Poljak in only his second pavement start. He is side by side with the defending champion, the 4 of Mike Lemley. Gardner opening up a big lead for the Mag Racing team. His teammate Jimmy Sideways Stokes starting at the back of the field. The Mag Racing teammates of Stokes and Bill Oldham in the 5, who are side by side on lap 2, have won every Charger heat and feature event this season. Sideways Stokes fishtails the back end down the back straight. Oldham avoids contact. We stay green. And another Mag Racing teammate, Matt Gardner, with the Nowak painting entry up in front. Ed Neidhart on lap 3 still hangs on to second. He had a top-notch performance last Friday night. And now with Denny Keller and Mike Lemley breathing down his neck, he's got a mirror full of Charger Division race cars. It looks like a parade lap back there. 2 rows, 2 wide. Look at Poljak breaking through. A.J. Poljak, the pavement rookie, has passed former champion Tracy Keller and pulls even with his cousin Denny Keller. Working lap 4 of 15, Gardner with a big lead. Ed Neidhart in second, Mike Lemley in third, A.J. Poljak in fourth, and Jimmy Stokes in the 95. We got problems. Contact made, and the 1 of Tracy Keller spins with Roger Bryan. Able to avoid contact, and Bob Garchak in 44 from Pittsburgh using the grass to move around the stopped Tracy Keller number 1. Keller trying to limp to the pits as the green flag stays out. We've got a challenge for second position in turn 3. Neidhart, the Butler County resident who tows from Renfrew each and every week, losing the runner-up spot to last year's champion Lemley. And on lap 6, Keller spins again, this time in front of the leader in turn number 2. In pavement race, as we've got a problem on the start, Neidhart's car didn't come up to speed. It nearly collected Poljak, and Bill Oldham spins in the repercussions. What a tough break for Ed Neidhart. 2 weeks of racing inside the top 3, and it comes to an end as he cannot get the car to launch from the start on lap 6. Neidhart withdraws from 3rd position. Poljak avoids contact to inherit the spot, and Jimmy Stokes, who started just about last, is now 4th. Stokes' teammate, Matt Gardner, with a lead of about 1.5 inches over the 4 of Mike Lemley. Similar bumper-to-bumper action in 3rd. Let's see if Poljak can hold off Stokes, who has dominated this division all season with 3 feature wins in 4 weeks. Crossed flag signal halfway. Contact in the lead battle on lap 8. Light contact made between the 7 of Matt Gardner and the 4 of Mike Lemley. Both of those drivers who were so successful last year seeking their first victories of 2008 with a lead of more than half a straightaway over Poljak in 3rd, who is holding off Stokes for the moment on lap 9. In fact, Poljak is using the outside groove to maintain that position as Stokes started last and is unable to pass the pavement newcomer since the restart on lap 6. Now Gardner opens up a bigger lead with 5 to go. He's got an advantage of 3 or 4 car lengths over Lemley now. So the fight for 3rd is the best on the racetrack. Stokes on the inside, and Poljak, who dirt tracks the car that time just enough. He has to chase it up the banking just a little and opens the preferred lane for Stokes on the inside. Poljak in 2, Stokes in 95, and points leader Stokes advances to 3rd spot. Mag Racing teammates 1st and 3rd with Mike Lemley in car 4 separating the two, as well as many, many car lengths as Gardner has tried to check out on this field. Lemley will not let him. 2 cars broken away from Stokes and the rest of the field. Working lap 12 of 15. The West Side Lube and Tire 7 of Matt Gardner and the 4 of Mike Lemley. Gardner, who was victorious in the American Flyers division before graduating to the Chargers and getting that first career feature win in 8-cylinder competition last year, and Lemley, who took several years off from Charger division racing, had a couple of winning seasons and came back last year in championship fashion. Lap 13, and they are slugging it out for the lead, maybe swapping stickers again down the back straight. Lemley in the 4, nearly dead even with Gardner in the 7 out of turn 4. Who's going to lead him to the white flag? They are nose to nose, and by inches, Gardner maintains the point position officially on lap 14. Now Jimmy Stokes joins the battle with his teammate door to door with Lemley. It's anybody's race in the top 3. Headed into turn 3. Lemley on the bottom, throws it in hard. Gardner uses the momentum of the outside lane. Who's it going to be at the finish? By inches, it is Mike Lemley by a bumper, leading only the last lap to get the win over Matt Gardner, Jimmy Stokes, AJ Poljak, and Denny Keller. Well, Mike Lemley, the guy that you beat by, 2 inches to the finish line, is the guy that you beat by, 2 points in the championship battle last year? Almost like we've got a rivalry happening here in the Charger division.
Yeah, no, it's just some good racing. I mean, I got into him a few times, but I don't know. I apologize, but I guess he was leaving the bottom open. So, but yeah, it's a bit of a rivalry. So, feels good to finally get a win again. Jimmy's tough. I mean, he's definitely a man to beat this year. He deserves it more than anybody down. He paid his toll.
Last season, you had a couple of wins en route to that championship season. What's the plan this year? Is the plan this year to go foot to the floor and try to get some feature wins? Or is it going to be the smart racing like you did last season to run for a championship?
I mean, obviously, we want to keep his car in one piece. So, I mean, we're just going to run every week. And what happens, happens. You know, we got the championship last year. We were fortunate for that. We really wasn't points racing this year, but we're in a pretty good seat right now. So we're just going to try to keep the fenders on, and there's a lot of good cars out there. You know, 68 Ed's really turning it on, which is awesome. You know, it's fun. I mean, everybody runs, so it's fun.
And how about a chance to thank your sponsors and crew?
First I got to thank Bellevue Chassis, West Side Lube and Tire, Advent Communications, Max Signs and Graphics, my buddy Dave McManus, which he races, he did the lettering on it. And I want to wish my mother, today's her birthday, so I want to wish her happy birthday. I think it's 60th or 70th or something. But that's it. Thanks for coming.
There he is, a winner again, Mike Lemley, for the first time in 2008. 44, Mary Catherine Shimko. 6 is Paul Rosa. The 88 is Jarrett Opachin. And 6 is Paul Rosa, last week's winner. Side by side is Ron Eifert III and Larry Vant. Look at Jeff Halfhill in the 7, storming around race cars into what may be the 3rd position, as he does take that spot away officially by inches from Ed Shelpman's number 20 car on lap 1. Ron Eifert III, the young driver, in the lead. Larry Vance, the not-so-young driver, in 2nd position, trying to challenge into turn 3 with Halfhill. Let's hear you Mopar fans for the Dodge Daytona of Halfhill in the 7. He takes the spot from Eifert and is nearly about to challenge for the lead on lap 2. With the brake lights aglow in turns 1 and 2, it's now Vance, Halfhill, Eifert, and Shelpman, the rookie, in car 20, right there with all the veterans, including the all-time leading winner, Deneen, nipping at his heels in car 16. Vance holds on to the lead. It's been a year or 2 since Vance has been to victory lane, but he was one of the first American Flyers competitors when this division was invented. Vance maintains the lead on lap 3 of 8. Halfhill is right there with him. Then it's Eifert, and Deneen has now gotten by Shelpman and closes quickly on Eifert, taking away 3rd position in car 16. It's still Vance leading by a fender at the scoring line. And Halfhill tries the dirt track surface at Motordrome. Vance dives to the inside to block. That leaves the high lane open for Ed Deneen. 3-car battle at the front of this field. Make it a 5-car battle. We were nearly 4 wide there in turns 3 and 4. As Rosa is storming up through the field in car 6, last week's winner. Vance still holds on to the lead, the Murraysville, Pennsylvania driver. And fellow veteran competitor Ed Deneen now door to door. Halfhill is a car length out of the battle for the lead, as Deneen takes the Cavalier around the Ford Tempo at the front. New leader is Ed Deneen with just 2 laps to go as Vance tries to throw a block on Halfhill's 7 car. Deneen well off the racing surface that time and bouncing through the marbles of the apron. Now Halfhill and Vance side by side with Rosa closing in on them. Contact made in the 3-car battle for 2nd. Deneen with a big lead now sees the white flag. Halfhill finally with perhaps an edge over the Larry Vance 28 car. Halfhill does move into 2nd with light contact, and Paul Rosa's there in the 6 car. Who wouldn't want to build an American Flyer race car? Oh, we got contact and a near spin, but out of turn 4. Ed Deneen takes another checkered flag over Jeff Halfhill. Paul Rosa, Larry Vance, and Ron Eifert III. On behalf of promoter Stan Lasky and the entire staff of the Motordrome Speedway, thanks for joining us tonight. We hope to see you back here next Friday on $5 Fan Appreciation Night. Ed, sometimes it seems to get wilder and wilder every week. You guys were using every inch of that racetrack, and I think you used about 4 feet of the grass down here. What does this car feel like when it comes off the pavement?
Oh, it actually doesn't do too bad, but it's a little bumpy there. What happens sometimes, you go in and you catch the edge of that, and it drops off, and you're committed. It's either go through there or spin the car around. So, yeah, I don't like to do that, but sometimes I catch it, and I know Denny yells at me. But and I'm sorry, Denny. But sometimes you get hooked on there. Sometimes you just catch the edge of it. But with these tires, it drags you in because they're not that big. So, yeah, it was a good race.
You know, you've talked so many times about the young talent in this division. Now tonight, you had to take the lead from Larry Vance. And like you, he might not be considered the young talent. You've been racing with him for a long time.
Well, we've been racing since it started, me and Larry, in this class. Yeah, we've been racing a long time. Larry's a good guy. He's always fun. I like racing with Larry. In fact, all these guys this year, I got to give these guys all a hand. They really work nice. Nobody's hitting anybody, banging anybody, you know what I mean, not wrecking any equipment. That's good. I mean, you're going to rub, you're going to touch, something's going to happen, but you know, you let off, you let the guy get his car straightened out, and you don't smash up equipment. And that's what's important. That's very important. I don't like to take anybody out or nothing doing that. So, you know, you do your best, and you just try not to wreck any equipment and go home in one piece.
And how about a chance to thank the sponsors on this piece of equipment?
Yeah, I want to thank Antique Automotive Appraisals. Advanced Automotive, Engine Express, Lamar Kitchens, Swissvale Pro Sound, Swissvale Music, and thank everybody for coming out.
There he is, Ed Deneen, with another victory in the American Flyers.